안녕하세요, 스트링입니다. Hey Roses, I'm back to do a first impressions for these volume 1s of manga. I have Splatoon, Mao, and the palette of 12 secret colors. This is actually one from like 2003, I believe. I think that's right. But I actually found this at a used bookstore in my area. I got it with 2 volumes of Pandora Hearts and 2 of Love Hina, which I've already read all of Pandora Hearts and Love. I just need volume 3 of Love Hina before I can binge it. So, but I'll start with this one because this one's probably not as well known. This is published by CMX, the same publisher from Eroica with Love, which I showed in my last haul video that I got off of Mercari for cheap. Well, quote unquote cheap. Probably good for how old the series is, because it's just as old as this one, I believe. But this follows a girl named Cello, and she lives on an island called Opal, and in this world there are really colorful birds, like really exotic birds and colorful birds, like this one right here. And they have attracted to school for inspiring palettes, which are witches who have the ability to transfer color from one object to another, basically. But Cello just can't seem to control her power for some reason, and as the end of freshman year approaches, she's on the verge of failing. So she's gonna need all the help her bird, Yo-Yo, right here, can give her. So it's an interesting idea, and you actually really feel for Cello, because she's doing everything that she can to learn how to do this, because she wants to be a palette, she really does. And these are like little color transfer things. But you really feel for her, and you just want her to do well. And she's taken a lot of the like tests to figure out, you know, almost like entrance exams to get into the school, but she just keeps failing. I'm trying to find a picture of the art style. It's kind of an older art style because, again, 2003. I don't know if CMX still does a manga or not. I'll have to look that up, but yeah. But eventually, you know, she's kind of become quote-unquote friends with the school doctor, because anytime she has the entrance exam, she covers herself in the color and then can't get it off, and he's the one that has to get it off. So, and she gets embarrassed every time she goes in there, because she wants to be able to learn how to do it herself without having to rely on him. So, it's unfortunate, but you also learn later that the birds are so exotic that they are basically close to being poached, or not poached. What is the word? I think it is poached, because poachers, yeah, try to get them, basically. Including Yo-Yo, but not going to go into any more detail than that, because them getting bird napped is a big plot point, so I don't want to go any further than that. But I do like it. If I could find the other volumes in the series, I would continue to read it, but because it was found at a used bookstore and that was the only one that I've seen, I doubt I'd be able to read any more of it. Like I said, if I could find it, I would read it for sure, but cannot find it, unfortunately. Okay, the next one is Splatoon, which this is based obviously off of the game as well. And this follows, you know, Team Blue, which has, you know, 4 Inklings, and they're trying to basically win Turf Wars, kind of like in the game. But it follows, let me see if I can find the characters' names. Yeah, okay, so where is the name for the one on the cover? Goggles. Goggles is the one on the front. And then you have Specs. Bobble hats right here. And then headphones right here. So, yeah. Apologies. She's talking to my grandfather, but yeah, I do like this. I also like the art style. It's very like cartoonish, which kind of fits with Splatoon anyway. That's a game I've always wanted to get into, but with how crappy my internet is here, I feel like I would just like drag the teams down because of Wi-Fi issues. But yeah, this is just, you know, about them trying to win matches and get to where they can beat Turf Wars, basically. So, cute idea for the manga. It goes in depth with like how some of the other Inklings feel, how competitive they can get, and things like that. Because he's on Team Blue, but there are other colored teams that are like super, super competitive. So it's interesting to see how that works. And then, last but not least, is Mao by Rumiko Takahashi. If that name sounds familiar, she has done Inuyasha, if you guys are familiar with that series. Let me get that for some light. Okay. And Mao has a similar premise to Inuyasha. In Inuyasha, you find out that Kagome gets traveled through back in time through the use of the well when this big demon basically breaks through the well, grabs her, and drags her back into the past. In Mao, the main character, Nanoka, is the only one to have survived from this really bad car accident. And she's able to pass through a portal into the Taisho era, which is, 1900s Japan. I believe Inuyasha was feudal era, so like 1600s maybe. Don't quote me on the time frame, but I believe that's right. Anyway, when Nanoka gets there, she actually runs into Mao, and she realizes that he's got some stuff going on that, in addition to being an exorcist, but so he's like trying to stay guarded so he doesn't reveal too much about himself. But he is cursed by a cat demon named Byoki, and he's on the hunt to try to find him, basically, so that he can get this curse dealt with and gotten rid of, because he is tired of having to deal with it. Apparently he's the only one that can touch his sword without any issues, but of course, similar to Inuyasha, when Kagome pulls the sword for Inuyasha, she can hold his sword and doesn't have any issues, so. Again, really interesting idea. I loved this first volume, honestly, and I'm excited to get more of the series to read. Rumiko Takahashi is one of my favorite mangakas. I'd say for like top 3, it'd be Yu Watase, Rumiko Takahashi, and Kaori Yuki, actually, because I've read Kane Saga, Godchild, and some of Angel Sanctuary, so definitely excited to get more of this one. Yeah, earliest 20th century, so 1900s. I was right. Okay. Also, Mao's trying to investigate these, like, gruesome murders that happen. And Nanoko wants to help, but Mao, being Mao, tells her, no, you're not gonna do this because it's dangerous. So, and Mao also has an assistant. Trying to think of his name. What is the name of that character? Otoya, that's his name. Sorry, I've stretched my legs. But he is devoted to Mao and trying to help him, basically his assistant, and trying to figure out what's going on. So, I don't know the connection between the two yet, but I'm sure as I read more of the series, I will know. Like I said, this is like a first impressions kind of video. So, overall, I am really enjoying it. And I would get the second volume of this and Splatoon, just to keep reading and see what happens. So I'm hoping to get the next volume of Mao soon. I know that there's going to be a Kinokuniya opening in Atlanta, which excites me because the closest one to me was in Missouri. So I'm excited to check out a Kinokuniya anytime I'm either with John or Reba, for those of you who talk to me through Discord. And like either go to a Kinokuniya when I'm with John, or depending on the location, after a doctor's appointment, I can go look around and see what they have. Because I've heard from a lot of people that Kinokuniya is a good place for manga and figures. And I'm really wanting a Hinata figure from Haikyuu. So, yeah. Like Hinata and Kageyama. Those are the two that I want from Haikyuu. Because I've become obsessed with Haikyuu. I do plan to do a review on Haikyuu at some point, but probably won't be for a while, just because I want to read more of the series. I think I'm going to be starting volume 7 next time I go to the library, because I didn't get any this run and I'm kind of kicking myself for it. But yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this like 3-in-1 review. I tried to give like little mini synopsis and also my thoughts on these. Like I said, I love Mao, and I liked Splatoon, and I liked the palette of 12 secret colors, but the problem with that last one is I do not know where to find it. Because it's most definitely out of print, because of how old it is. And then Splatoon, I've liked the game, because I've watched Emil or Chugga Conroy go through Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2. And then Mao, just because I picked it up because it was a Rumiko Takahashi title, and then I was not disappointed in the slightest, so. But yeah. Again, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys soon in another video at another time. Bye, roses. Annyeong.